Most people teach their children how to earn money, but forget to teach them how to think about money. And that difference is what quietly separates lasting wealth from lifelong struggle. If you want your children to grow up rich in wisdom before they're rich in dollars, these lessons matter more than any inheritance. Let me begin with something simple. Money is never just about money. It is about habits. It is about patience. It is about the quiet decisions you make when no one is watching. The truly wealthy don't raise children to chase money. They raise children to understand it, because once you understand money, it works for you for the rest of your life. The first lesson is this: live below your means, not because you are afraid to spend, but because freedom tastes better than display. Children who learn this early don't grow up stressed by bills or impressed by appearances. They grow up calm, confident, and in control. Second, start early, even with very little. Time is the greatest gift money can receive. A small amount, given enough time, becomes something remarkable. Teach a child that waiting is not weakness, it's strategy. Third, separate needs from wants. This single skill will protect them more than any salary ever could. When children learn to pause before spending, they learn mastery over impulse, and mastery over impulse is mastery over life. Fourth, make money work, not harder hours. Explain that money can earn while you sleep, or disappear while you rush. Wealth grows quietly when you invest with patience, not excitement. Fifth, avoid debt that steals your future. Not all debt is evil, but debt taken without thought becomes a lifelong tax on your dreams. Teach children that borrowing today often means surrendering tomorrow. Sixth, character always compounds. Honesty, discipline, and consistency may not show immediate returns, but over time they outperform talent. Money follows people who can be trusted. Seventh, learn before you earn big. Mistakes are cheapest when numbers are small. Let children fail safely, learn slowly, and grow wisely. Eighth, ignore the crowd. Most people follow noise. The wealthy teach their children to follow understanding. If everyone is excited, be cautious. If everyone is fearful, be curious. Ninth, protect your reputation like capital. A good name opens doors money cannot, and once damaged, it costs more than cash to repair. And finally, define what enough means, because those who never decide what is enough will spend their entire lives chasing more and never arriving. So, if you want to give your children a real advantage, don't just leave them money. Leave them wisdom. Leave them patience. Leave them the ability to think clearly in a noisy world. Because wealth built on understanding lasts longer than wealth built on luck. Many people believe wealth begins when a certain number appears in their bank account. They imagine that once they reach that figure, peace will follow, confidence will settle in, and worry will finally leave. But the truth is quieter and far more important. Wealth does not start with money. It starts with the way you think. If money alone created wealth, then lottery winners would live fulfilled lives forever, and high earners would never feel anxious. Yet we see the opposite every day. Some people earn little and live with dignity, calm, and purpose. Others earn much and remain trapped in stress and dissatisfaction. The difference is not income. The difference is mindset. A wealthy mindset begins with understanding that money is a tool, not a trophy. Tools are meant to be used carefully, not displayed. When children are taught this early, they stop measuring success by what they can show others and start measuring it by what they can build quietly over time. They learn that money's highest purpose is not admiration, but freedom. Freedom to choose, to wait, and to live without panic. Thinking like this requires patience. Patience is the foundation of real wealth. A person who cannot wait will always pay a price, usually in the form of bad decisions, impulse buying, emotional investing, and unnecessary debt are not money problems. They are thinking problems. Wealthy thinking trains the mind to pause, to ask simple questions, and to act only when understanding is clear. Over time, this habit alone separates stability from struggle. Another pillar of wealthy thinking is respect for time. Money can be lost and earned again. Time cannot. People who think wealthily do not rush for quick wins at the cost of long-term damage. They prefer slow, steady progress that compounds quietly. They understand that small decisions, repeated consistently, grow larger than dramatic actions taken rarely. This way of thinking removes the pressure to get rich fast and replaces it with confidence in gradual growth. Wealthy thinking also embraces responsibility. Instead of blaming the economy, the market, or circumstances, it asks, "What can I control?" This mindset creates strength. When children grow up believing they are capable of learning, adapting, and improving, they stop seeing money as something mysterious or unfair. They see it as something understandable, something they can manage with discipline and humility. Another essential shift in thinking is learning to define enough. Without this, no amount of money ever feels sufficient. A person who does not know what enough looks like will always chase more income, more status, more validation. That chase is exhausting and endless. Wealthy thinking chooses clarity over comparison. It sets personal goals based on values, not on what others are displaying. Once enough is defined, contentment becomes possible, and money stops controlling emotions. A wealthy mindset also understands risk differently. It does not fear risk blindly, nor does it chase it recklessly. It respects risk through knowledge. People who think this way do not gamble, they study. They don't follow excitement, they follow understanding. When mistakes happen, and they always do, they treat them as tuition, not failure. This keeps fear from paralyzing growth and keeps ego from causing ruin. Perhaps most importantly, wealth as a way of thinking places character at the center. Integrity, consistency, and self-control may not show immediate financial returns, but over time, they outperform intelligence and talent. People trust those who think clearly and act steadily. Opportunities flow toward reliability. Money, in the long run, follows character more closely than it follows brilliance. This way of thinking also teaches humility. Markets change, life changes. Anyone can be wrong. Wealthy thinkers leave room for learning. They listen more than they speak, read more than they react, and adapt without losing their principles. This humility protects them from arrogance, which has ended more fortunes than poverty ever has. When wealth is seen as thinking rather than numbers, fear begins to fade. Fear of loss, fear of missing out, fear of being behind, all of these weaken when decisions are rooted in understanding instead of emotion. Calm replaces urgency. Purpose replaces comparison. And money becomes what it was always meant to be, a servant, not a master. So the greatest gift one generation can pass to the next is not a large inheritance. It is a calm mind, trained to think clearly about money, a mind that understands patience, values time, respects discipline, and knows what truly matters. Because when the way of thinking is right, the numbers eventually follow. And even if they don't, life is still rich in the ways that matter most. When people speak about wealth, they often point to income, opportunity, or intelligence. But those who have observed life closely know a deeper truth. Rich lives are built on time, discipline, and character. Money may arrive through chance, talent, or timing, but lasting success only stays where these three foundations exist. Time is the first and most misunderstood ingredient of wealth. Many see time as something to be spent, wasted, or rushed through. But those who think wisely see time as a partner. Time rewards consistency, not intensity. A small habit practiced daily will outperform grand efforts done occasionally. This is why steady saving beats sudden windfalls and patient investing beats clever speculation. Time does not respond to excitement, it responds to persistence. Understanding time changes how people make decisions. Instead of asking, "How much can I gain quickly?" the question becomes, "What will this decision look like in 10 or 20 years?" This shift alone protects a person from most financial mistakes. High-interest debt, impulsive spending, and risky shortcuts lose their appeal when viewed through a long lens. Time exposes everything. Good habits grow stronger, bad habits grow costly. Discipline is what allows time to work in your favor. Without discipline, time becomes an enemy. Discipline is not restriction, it is direction. It means choosing what matters now so that more can matter later. People often believe discipline removes freedom, but the opposite is true. Discipline creates freedom by removing chaos. Financial discipline shows up in simple, quiet ways. Spending less than you earn, saving before you spend, saying no to things that impress others but weaken your future. These choices are rarely celebrated, yet they are powerful. Over years, they build resilience. A disciplined person is not easily shaken by setbacks because their foundation is strong. Discipline also protects people from themselves. Emotional decisions are expensive decisions. Markets rise and fall, trends come and go, and noise grows louder every year. Discipline acts as a filter. It keeps actions aligned with principles rather than moods. This steadiness is what allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results over time. Character is the silent force that holds everything together. Skills may open doors, but character determines how long those doors stay open. Wealth built without character is fragile. It may rise quickly, but it collapses just as fast. Honesty, reliability, and humility do not show immediate returns on a balance sheet, but they compound in reputation, and reputation is one of the most valuable assets a person can own. Character shapes how people handle success and failure. Success tests humility. Failure tests integrity. Those with strong character do not become reckless when they succeed, and they do not become bitter when they fail. They learn, adjust, and continue forward. This emotional stability is rare and incredibly valuable. Trust grows from character, and where trust exists, opportunities multiply. People prefer to work with those who are consistent, fair, and transparent. Over time, this trust becomes a form of wealth that cannot be taken away by market crashes or economic cycles. Time, discipline, and character are deeply connected. Time reveals character. Discipline strengthens. Character guides how both are used. Remove any one of these, and the structure weakens. With all three in place, progress becomes inevitable. This is why teaching these values early matters so much. Children who learn patience stop chasing instant rewards. Those who learn discipline gain confidence in their ability to control outcomes. Those who learn character build lives rooted in respect and self-worth. These lessons shape not only financial success, but personal peace. Rich lives are not measured only in dollars. They are measured in calm mornings, unshaken values, and choices made without regret. They are built by people who understand that money is the result, not the purpose. In the end, wealth is not about what you accumulate, but about who you become while accumulating it. Time gives you the chance. Discipline keeps you on the path. Character ensures that when success arrives, it stays, and when it leaves, you remain whole. That is what truly creates a rich life. Too often, people confuse their net worth with their self-worth. They look at their bank account, their investments, or the possessions they've accumulated and let those numbers define who they are. But the truth is far more important. Money is a tool, not a trophy. It is a means to an end, not the end itself. When we understand money as a tool, our relationship with it changes. Tools are meant to be used wisely. A hammer is valuable not because it exists, but because it builds, repairs, or shapes something meaningful. Money works the same way. It can create opportunities, provide security, and enable generosity, but only when used thoughtfully. People who measure their worth by money alone are trapped in a cycle of comparison and dissatisfaction. There will always be someone with more, faster, or better. But those who see money as a tool focus on what it can do, investing in skills, helping family, supporting causes, or building lasting security. In this mindset, money becomes a servant, not a master. Children who grow up learning this lesson develop confidence and freedom. They understand that their value comes from their decisions, character, and contributions, not from a statement balance. They learn to save, invest, and spend with intention rather than fear or show. This clarity prevents unnecessary stress, reckless choices, and the endless chase of approval through wealth. Using money as a tool also teaches patience. Tools are effective when used correctly over time, not when wielded impulsively. The same applies to money. Careful planning, consistent saving, and disciplined investment will outperform flashy, impulsive decisions. Time multiplies disciplined effort just as it multiplies skillful use of any tool. Finally, seeing money as a tool encourages generosity. A person who views wealth as a measure of self-worth is hesitant to give, fearing it diminishes them. But a person who sees money as a tool understands that its purpose includes lifting others, solving problems, and leaving a legacy. True wealth grows when shared thoughtfully. In the end, money is most powerful when it serves a purpose greater than itself. It can open doors, protect freedom, and create opportunities, but it does not define the heart, the mind, or the soul. By treating money as a tool rather than a measure of worth, we live wisely, act confidently, and leave a legacy that cannot be measured in dollars. If you want, I can expand this keynote into a full 1,000-word speech in the same natural motivational style like I did for the previous keynotes. This will make it ready for a full presentation. Do you want me to do that?